Hi everyone, and welcome to the bench. Well, I'm with Jack Dennis, tying a special fly, and today we're going to tie up the crystal caddis.
Well, as you know, here in Bow River country, and whether you're in BC on the Elk or any of the rivers there, caddis are really one of the #1 insects for here in Canada. Now, just say we're going to do the nymph version of this. So we'll do this. Let's say we had a little copper wire. We can take a little copper wire and do the same thing. But we're going to do this for the dry fly. We'll just add one of these strands of rainbow thread, and it'll act kind of like a binder. We'll add that in, then we'll take our peacock, just like we did here. And now it could be wire. I'd say we're doing a prince nymph, it can be wire. And we'll add it and do the same thing. Just kind of go around like this, right around the thread. Just enough to get the wire, or in this case, the little piece of plastic in it, and then do our dubbing loop. And so what we're going to do is we're going to wrap the body. And what this makes, it gives you a lot more durability. One of the things that we've found doing all the underwater photography is we found some amazing things about how flies ride on the surface and what the reflected light is. And there's just no question that parachutes are what drive the tying now. And so one of the things that I do lots of parachutes, and I've developed some techniques to make them easier to tie. And that's what we're going to do right now. Now this is a little tricky, knowing how much to put. If you put too much, it makes the fly really tough. And if you put too little, it doesn't do you any good. So it takes a little time of tying these to know how much you want to put in there. And this is going to be, even though the caddis is dying, it flutters, drops, hits, comes up, flutters, hits, and then eventually dies. So we're going to use this as a fluttering wing, just like we did on the last fly. We're going to tie it in. Now, what we're going to take is the butt ends of this, and we're going to make a parachute wing. Now, the first thing we do is we make sure the proportioning. The body's gone halfway down the shank. We're going to go another halfway, and that's where that wing's going to come up. Now, this is a technique called side posting. This is what you're going to learn when you do a parachute. It requires a bobbin has a ceramic insert with a big opening, a la Griffith. Okay? You're going to point it to the left, go over, come back around, over, back around. Right here, I'm pushing pressure and sliding over. Pressure over. Eventually, you will keep it like that, and it'll just be so easy for you. You just build up that thread. What you essentially do is you build your own cone. Now, I'll guarantee you learn that technique, you can tie anything. 2 strands of marabou. Now you've got your post. All right, now, one of the things you want to do when you get in those small ones is to make sure that you anchor your post. Now, what I'm doing with this is going 1 wrap in front, 1 wrap in back, and that'll keep that post from wobbling. Now, what we got to do here is we got to put in, we're going to trim this down a little bit because we don't want it in our way, and we're going to come up with the partridge wing. If it's good partridge, 2 of them usually will do it. If it's not good partridge, you may need 3. You lay 1 on top of the other one and kind of offset it a little bit. Okay, once we do it, we kind of bunch it up like this, and we're going to lay it right up on top. I'm going to trim this, and I'm going to roll it over. This is the trickiest part of tying that fly. It's going to take you a while to get that technique so it flattens out over the top. Don't worry about it, just takes a little bit of practice. Now we're ready to complete the thorax. Now, what I do with Antron is you made a comment about put it on sparse. Every person I have on my Jack Dennis and Friends tape, every one of them says the same thing, sparse. Okay, now, so it's really easy just to keep adding it as we need it. All right, as you can see, that'll blend in there, and we'll get a nice little thorax from that. Now, here comes the part that drives a lot of people nuts, and that's putting the hackle on. You can use grizzly, you can use dyed olive. What I find is just a nice dyed tan or brown grizzly is about as good a color as you need. Gray and brown mix. But on parachutes, if you just use 1 strand, you get a better parachute, and using a saddle hackle, it has a very thin vein, gets it in nice and tight. Okay, what we're going to do is kind of size 12 here, we've got one. And now we're going to take, as you can see, there's the thin vein right there. And what we're going to do is we're coming from the side here, the left side of the post. Okay? We're going to come in and we're going to tie it so that it goes right up the post. And you can see here's where the vein is. And we'll just trim it out. That's going to add some more stiffness to the post. Okay, now, this is very important what I'm going to do right here. See the thread? It's coming to the right side of the post and we're stopping right there. Here we go. Come over to the right side of the post. Right there. This is where you're going to tie your hackle off. But this hackle plier will allow you to come and tie it the same way. I'm pulling it toward me. Okay, we're going to attach the hackle plier. As you can see, it's parallel to me. And what we can do is we can then wrap it nice and tight around whatever. I've actually wrapped more wraps than probably we need, but I'm just having so much fun. Okay, now, want you to watch. See how tight that is? Do you agree with me? That's in there nice and tight because you can see the hook move. By taking this and flipping it over, switching hands, I'm now switching hands and pulling, taking the thread and then pulling tight and then tying it right into where I just pointed out that thread. Pull the hackle back, wrap a couple in what I call insurance wraps. It makes tying parachutes just like tying any other hackle. We're going to trim that wing down, just kind of shaping it. But you can see that that'll give you a nice profile, and that will ride right in the film, and you can see that. Great pattern also if you want to drop an emerger off the back of it, or off the eye.
Excellent. Well, thanks a lot for the tie, Jack. Very interesting pattern. Stay tuned. Be right back with some more action.